99% of dogs, I mean naturally 100% of dogs, that's what it is. It's like 0% focus on you the second that they go out the door. And so now when she's kind of in this state, looking around, it's almost like she's looking for a dog.
We start over there.
Oh, you do?
That's where she knows where all the dogs live.
Okay, over here.
So she'll
let's see.
And she'll slow down. Come on, Luna.
Oh my goodness, there's no doggies in there, silly.
This is what she does.
Silly girl.
And you'll see when we come back around, when she goes around that corner, she'll slow down and creep.
Okay.
Oh, come on, Luna. That lives over here. Usually they're on their porch.
Okay, let's see.
And they'll bark at her and then she'll jump up.
Okay. Has she always had these issues or have they escalated?
She was always active like this.
Okay, towards other dogs.
Yeah. When we were at the shelter, she was quiet. Like all the other dogs were barking and she was fine. But when we got home, it just, I don't know. Luna.
Is she almost walking away from them, huh?
Let's see if she does. Usually she'll wait for me.
Okay.
No! They're coming in.
She's like, you gotta get my good
Luna,
side.
come on. Okay, come on. Then she'll wait for her treat, but I don't know if you want me to give her one.
Okay, yeah. So do you know her background? Was it an owner surrender?
The only thing I know is the reason why she came back that time was because the owners had a cat and her and the cat didn't get along.
Okay, so it was like an owner surrender. She wasn't out on the street.
Oh yeah, she wasn't on the street.
Okay.
She's just been back and forth through the shelter.
Right. And I'm sure no one worked with her on her issues with other dogs.
Yeah. And then she has like slight health issues because she has allergies. So
she does? So what I'm thinking is that it's totally fear-based, because a dog that would have like true aggression issues, like basically like, oh, I need to kill any dog that I see, or, you know, have that instant negative response and want to get to that dog, wouldn't be okay in a situation like Petco, you know, or the shelter. That would still come out. They would be on edge even more. She'd be even more reactive than anything. So the fact that and then just her body language when she's like creeping around the corner, you know, it's out of fear. She's afraid of what she's going to see. What I saw is that I don't think it would be to the extent that she would, you know, actually be aggressive towards a dog. But like we said, like reactivity, if the dog is heightened, it can lead to aggression very quick. We'll just talk about like my golden rules of training that's going to help break her stubbornness and everything, because what's going to be important with her, like when she does feel uncomfortable outside, is that we redirect her to look up at us. Because right now she feels like, oh, when I'm uncomfortable, when I feel threatened, I need to take it out on that dog, you know, and she reacts at the dog. So we want to switch that for her to think, you know, when you're feeling like that, instead of reacting and taking it out on the dog, look up at me. The very first step is just practicing and getting a really good response and everything, like in the house. Because if she's not going to respond to us here with, you know, minimal distractions, there's no way that she's going to respond to us out there. So we kind of have to work to establish everything first in here, and just getting her to listen to you the first time, every single time in here. So my first golden rule is that you only ever want to say her name positively. So if she is in trouble and you do have to tell her no, refrain from using her name. In the beginning stage of training, I'm all for using treats to get them to respond, because it's switching a dog's natural instincts. And so naturally, to switch her from naturally outside, she wants to have 100% focus on everything else and 0% focus on who's walking her. So to switch that, you know, we're unfortunately not motivating enough. We have to use treats, something to get her to switch over here. You want her to think her name means a treat, praise, something positive every single time. And we'll wean off of the treats in a way that her same focus will be ingrained no matter if you're holding a treat or not. But people get a little bit nervous to use treats because they think like, okay, then she's not going to listen to me unless I'm holding a treat, which happens if you wean off of the treats in a wrong way. They'll try to use all the treats in the beginning, and then they're like, okay, she's getting it, I'm going to completely stop the treats and stop it cold turkey. And then they can't get the dog to respond to them and they wonder why. And that's because like if your boss one day said, I'm not going to pay you for your job anymore, like what motivation would you have to keep working? You have to wean off of them in the right way. So the clicker word, you would tell her sit, she sits, you would click the little device, the little plastic device, and then give her a treat. So she pairs that clicking sound with a reward. It's good to still let her know she did the right thing, to be able to use that. And for weaning off of the treats, it's essential to have that kind of transitional piece. So we'll talk a little bit more about that and what we can do with the clicker, but instead of an actual clicker, I use a clicker word, just because it's pretty inconvenient to, carry around a clicker all the time and have to remember that. So instead I use the word, because obviously you always have your voice on you. So I use the word yes. Just something short and sweet that you don't say all the time that's specific to training. So like, yes, you executed exactly what I asked you to do. And so again, we'll wean off of the treats in a way that yes will be like getting a treat to her.
Okay.
So if you do have to tell her no, don't use her name. You always have to redirect her to what's right. So redirection is key to shaping behavior, because behind every bad behavior, so to speak, there's a reason why the dog is doing it. But you have to think about like, why is she doing that? Whenever she's like exhibiting a bad behavior, and she's chewing on the pillow because dogs forever have a need to chew, and it's also a way to exert energy. So you have to kind of think like, if you have that need to chew, no, you can't chew on this, but here is what you can chew on, and redirect her to the appropriate thing. Or if she jumps like on the table, if there's food up there or anything like that. Has she done that at all? Like counter surfing? Oh, good. That's very good. So that's the case of redirection too, without you even realizing it. Like, no, you don't do this. When you feel like you want to beg for my food, go eat your own food. So our biggest thing with redirection is going to be obviously outside, when you feel like you want to bark at that other dog. And what we said, it's easy. I see all the time people saying, no, don't do that. Or what do you usually do when she's barking?
I'll tell her no, or I'll try to get her to sit, but she just, if they're really close and it's another big dog, she still she hops to try to get to them. So then I just have to get a stance and pull her back. So she just doesn't listen.
Yeah. And that's typical whenever that's happening. Does she bark at other dogs when they walk by and she's out on the porch?
Certain dogs. I don't know why she picks and chooses who she wants to bark at, but she does. Okay. So the dog across the street, maybe she just doesn't feel him or her. I don't know if it's he or she. But she doesn't feel him as a threat. So he'll bark all day and she'll just sit there. Okay. But if there's a husky that comes, she'll bark, or she'll bark when she's up here, but when they're down together, they both kind of whine. And actually 2 days ago when I was walking her, the owner's like, are they trying to play? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to find out.
Yeah. Just a human nature to say no. When the dog's barking, if she's out there barking on other dogs, if you're on a walk and she's barking. But we're going to have to be more motivating than that other dog. So we have to redirect her to focus on us. And the key with that, why her name being positive is so important, is because when we say Luna, we want her to think treat, positive every single time. Basically, I want her name to mean a treat so that she's going to look. And a lot of people, it's a very simple switch, but it goes a long way. Like when you want to say her name negative, like Luna, no, come on, when she's barking at the other dog or is looking at another dog, switching that to saying her name positive has a much more powerful effect. I do this all the time, like when dogs rush to the window or whatever to bark at that dog going by, the owner sits there and is like, Luna, no, don't do that. And I always say, well, what's more motivating in that case? That dog going by or you sitting there telling her no? She's going to look at you like, no, thank you. I'm going to stay focused right here. So switching that to Luna. Yes, good girl. Goes a very long way. And with her intent focus, it's going to be a little bit more than that. Obviously, it's not going to be that easy because she gets into such a zoned out state, like the second she walks out the door. So it's going to be like working up to there, but that's going to go a lot further. So my third golden rule is to not overlook when she is behaving. But the biggest thing for her is going to be not overlooking her focus on you. Luna, what is it? If you constantly had her focus, she was always making eye contact with you, you could get her to do anything and you could prevent her from doing anything. And you can see that focus aspect is what she fights, because the fact that she sits down, like her back facing you, she's like, I'm sitting but not focused on you. So we want to turn that to have her complete focus. Yes, and dogs like her are very stubborn about that focus aspect. They're like, I don't want to focus on you. I want to be alert on anything else. So don't overlook when she is focusing on you. If she ever, I don't think she did this once on the walk, looked up at you like on her own at all.
No.
Never. And she'll get to the point where she will, so that's super important, even just that eye contact. Yes, that you don't overlook that and praise that. If I were to teach a dog one thing ever, it would be focus, no doubt. Just always focus on me. It's what I do with like my service dog training. You know, if you see a service dog, that's all they do is focus up on their handler. As owners, we tend to just feed into the negative behaviors. So like if you guys are eating dinner here and she's just sitting there quiet, calm, you know, not making a peep or anything, you almost kind of forget that she's there and continue to have your conversation. But dogs are right that the negative behaviors are what get our attention. So the second she starts barking, or if she did start jumping up on you, that would get your attention, you know, so you'd be quick to let her know, no, that's not okay. Some dogs will sit there and like bark at you because they know barking gets your attention. So if she, you know, you are doing your homework and she's just laying over here relaxing, just make sure that you let her know, like, good girl. Yes. Teach a dog focus and self-control. They don't know it on their own. She's not just going to think, I'm just going to sit here and focus for 10 minutes. Sit. Yes. Good girl. Yes.
On the street, that's why.
Like shift that focus from over here to at least right here, and then we'll make it be straight eye contact. Okay. But first we just have to shift it. So we'll tell her sit. Yes. Very good. Good girl. You could keep her focus right here, you know, have her sit. Yes. And then ultimately a dog goes by, you know, and you're still holding her focus right here, and that dog goes by, and yes. Okay. There's the treat. Just to kind of hold position. That's a really good thing to practice. So practice that just with the sit, like this week, just that sit. My fourth golden rule, which is going to be very important for her with breaking the stubbornness, is to not ever repeat a command.
Okay.
Have you heard this before?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a lot easier said than done. On average, an owner says a command like 3 to 5 times before the dog actually does it, because it's just human nature to keep saying, you know, if she doesn't do it, sit, 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 until she sits. But if you tell her sit 3 times before she sits, the next time you want her to sit, she's gonna look at you and think, I don't have to sit until I'm told 3 times, or let's see how many times she'll say it before she just gives up. She has the mindset of like, the longer that I push her and test her, the more likely she is to give up. And they're 100% right. You know, people are like, okay, you're not gonna do it, then whatever. And you just kind of give up. Make her think, I'm going to have to do what's asked of me. I might as well do it right away. You know, the faster that I do it, the faster that I can get back to doing whatever I want. Oh. And so you want her to think, one time I say something once, I mean it, I'm going to follow through with it, and you have to do it. So the other side of it, good girl, that I think is going to be the most difficult And by difficult, I mean just patience-wise. And a lot of like these new exercises, commands that we'll do will be important for utilizing outside, because we want to shift her mind from worrying about the dogs and all of that when she's outside to something else. And sometimes just getting her focus isn't going to be enough. Does that make sense? Because we'll focus her here, she'll hear something and want to go back to it. So if we're doing exercises like this out there, shifting her mind, making her work for the treat, she's going to not be worried about the dogs out there. It will make more sense when we do it out here, but all of this will go into play with that. Yes! There you go! So if you have her focus, just be patient. You can even kind of be like, if she was just standing up and you had told her to sit, like, I'm only gonna say it once, remember what I said. And she'll do it. If she just goes the other way though, and is like, you tell her sit, she just walks away from you, you're obviously not gonna sit there with the hand gesture until she comes back. So what you can do is call her name. You can repeat her name as many times as you want. Just like, Luna, refocus over here. Luna is gonna be our command to like focus, basically. Luna, yes. But for come, make sure that you use like a firm Luna come, instead of like, come here, you know. It just is a command that a lot of people use in a really like relaxed tone, kind of like giving her the option to come or not. So start using it like Luna come, and I'm not gonna say that more than once. Yes, good girl. If she doesn't come, say her name, sound, clap, whatever it takes. If she's still not coming, that's when you could go and try to shake this. This is good because she's still not. If she's still being stubborn like that, oh, that's good. Yes, so let's say she still didn't come. You can grab a treat, show her what you have, try to lure her to where you want her to go. She's like, what do you want, lady? I'm listening, I know. Come on, a little bit more. Yes, good girl. And last case, if she didn't come, leash her and bring her to where you want her to go. You don't want to let her get away with it, because then dogs start to like fake check out. They're like, oh, this is too hard, and she'll do it sooner and sooner and sooner. But you, again, don't want to push her too much. So just end on, if the lay down is too hard now for her, just end on you winning with a sit. Yes, and then just end the training right there. Adorable. Okay, you work hard on all your training, okay? I'll see you next week. I'll see you next weekend. It was so nice to meet you.